So, you've done it. You've passed your test, you've got the bike, and you've had that first taste of meal freedom on two wheels. It's awesome, right? But the adventure doesn't stop when you kill the engine. Today, we're going to get into what it really means to own your motorcycle. You know, that initial buzz of passing your test is just incredible. But pretty quickly, a new reality sets in. That bike, it's all yours. The responsibility is yours. And that beautiful, shiny machine sitting there now depends on you for a whole lot more than just a fun ride on a Sunday. And that's exactly what we're digging into, what real ownership is all about. Look, this isn't about becoming a master mechanic overnight, not at all. It's about looking after your investment, keeping it safe, and just making sure it's going to be reliable every single time you want to hit the road. Because let's be real, this is what happens. The perfect, pristine bike you brought home from the dealership doesn't stay that way for long. After a few weeks out in the real world, it's got some miles on it, it's covered in road grime, and that's okay. This isn't a problem, it's just the start of your journey together, and it's all completely manageable. So, where do we even begin? Well, you might be surprised to hear it, but it starts with a bucket and a sponge. But we're going to completely reframe this. This is not a chore. Cleaning your bike is actually one of the most important safety checks you can possibly do. Let me show you what I mean. The whole key here is a mindset shift. We're not just trying to make it shiny, we are performing preventative maintenance. Every single time you wash your bike, you're getting up close and personal with every nut, bolt, and component. You're giving yourself the perfect chance to spot a tiny little issue before it turns into a big, expensive, or even dangerous problem out on the road. And the process itself, it could not be simpler. A quick rinse to get the big stuff off, spray on some cleaner made for bikes, give it a gentle scrub with some soft brushes, rinse it all off, and then dry it. But the real magic happens in steps 3 and 5 when you're actually touching and looking at every single part of your machine. And this is exactly what you're looking for. While you're cleaning the engine, you might just spot a tiny oil leak. While you're drying the wheels, you could find a nail hiding in the tire. Wiping down the mirrors, you'll feel instantly if a bolt is loose. See, this isn't some formal, scary inspection. You're just being aware. You're learning what your bike looks and feels like normally, so you'll spot it immediately when something's not right. Alright, your bike is clean, it's looking great, but what happens when you're not riding? Whether you're just taking a 2-week break or you're putting the bike away for the whole winter, how you store it makes a huge difference to its health. Now, there's a really key difference here. Even a short break, just a week or two, can cause a problem. Why? Because modern bikes are never really off. You've got the clock, maybe an alarm. They're always sipping a tiny bit of power, and that little drain can be enough to leave you with a flat battery. Long-term winter storage, well, that's a whole other level of care we need to talk about. And here's the price you pay for ignoring that slow battery drain. You get back from your holiday, you're excited for a ride, you hit the starter, and nothing. The battery is dead. And letting a battery go flat like that can kill it for good. That's a very frustrating and a completely avoidable £120 mistake. Now, compare that to the solution. For about 35 quid, this little gadget called the trickle charger or a battery tender keeps your battery perfectly healthy. It's smart, it won't overcharge it, you just plug it in and you forget about it. Honestly, it's one of the best investments you can make as a bike owner. The math is pretty simple on this one, right? For that long-term winter hibernation, we just build on that idea. You fill the fuel tank to stop rust from forming inside. You change the oil so old, nasty gunk isn't sitting in your engine for months. You get the tires off the ground with some stands to stop them from getting flat spots. Then you cover it up and you plug in that trusty trickle charger. Every single one of these steps prevents a costly surprise come springtime. Okay, I know what you might be thinking. This is starting to sound like a lot of work. But I promise you it really isn't. The whole key is to break it down into a simple, easy routine that just becomes second nature. So here's what it looks like broken down into easy chunks. You've got your 2-minute checks you do before every single ride. Then, about once a week, you spend maybe 15 minutes on a few key things. Add in a couple more quick checks once a month, and you're pretty much sorted until it's big annual service. It's all about consistency, not complexity. But the absolute foundation of everything is your weekly routine. We're talking about 15 minutes. That is it. In the time it takes to make a cup of tea, you can check your tire pressures, check your oil, and give your chain a quick clean and lube. It takes less time than scrolling through Instagram, but the payoff for your bike's safety is just massive. And if you think I'm exaggerating, just listen to this story. A neglected chain isn't just a bit of rust, it's a £400 repair bill waiting to happen, and way more importantly, it can cause a catastrophic failure when you're at speed. The back wheel can just lock up, and all of that, every bit of it, could have been prevented with a simple 15-minute check. Okay, we've covered cleaning, we've covered storage, and we've talked about schedules. If you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed right now, that's totally normal. This next part is for you. We're going to cut through all the noise and boil it down to the absolute essentials. So let's just ask the question directly, because it's what every new owner is thinking. What is the bare minimum, the absolute rock bottom stuff I have to do to keep my bike safe and running well? Forget everything else for a second. What are the things you simply cannot ignore? Here they are. This is what we call the essential trinity: tire pressure, chain care, and oil level. If you do nothing else, you master these three. Your tire pressure is your #1 safety check. It controls everything about how your bike handles. Your chain is vital for getting power to the wheel safely. And your oil, well, that's the lifeblood of your engine. Letting it run low is a guaranteed way to destroy it. And let's be crystal clear about this. None of this is about trying to turn you into a mechanic. You do not need a giant toolbox or years of training. This is about being a responsible, confident owner. It's about building a real connection with your machine, understanding what it's telling you, and knowing in your gut that it's safe every time you swing your leg over it. So, I'll leave you with this one question. Don't worry about next week or next month. Just think about your very next ride. What's the 1-2-minute check you're going to do before you set off? Maybe it's just a quick squeeze of the tires, or a quick glance at the chain. Whatever it is, make it a habit starting right now. Thanks for joining me.